Hello and welcome. I'm Gauhar Raza and you are watching Eureka. Nanotechnology opened up a new area of research with tremendous application. The promises were huge, they were remarkable. Some people said that even the clothes can be made which will make you invisible. It has not happened yet. And today we have a first-rate expert who has grown with the area. Welcome, Dr. Ganguli. I'm very thankful that you have given time to Eureka and RSTV. Let's go backwards. When you were a child, did you ever think that you will be working in the area of nanotechnology?
No.
Because the area was not there.
Not at all. I never thought that I would be working.
You wanted to become a chemist.
That's true.
Why did you choose chemistry?
Well, that goes back to 1975. I was in probably ninth around that time. I had a teacher, and I still remember his name, Muhammad Tariq. He taught us for a few months. And during few classes, he kind of explained how chemistry can be related to every subject, including music. And that's the law of octaves.
Including music?
Including music. And I didn't know much, but that thing stuck. That it's a subject which has ramifications in areas beyond what is a formal science. And I was hooked onto chemistry.
You had a large number of role models. And one of the role models that you have suggested is Professor C.N.R. Rao. When you met him at IISc Bangalore, at that time probably superconductivity was in big news. And he was also working on superconductivity. You worked on superconductivity and then switched over to nanotechnology. Why did you leave superconductivity? It's still a very promising area.
Actually, I never left superconductivity. It is, it's like your first love. This is the area in which I blossomed. Although this was not my first problem when I entered Indian Institute of Science. Professor Rao had given me another problem and I worked on that for a couple of years. And then superconductivity came. So, and I took a plunge in that and I did quite well at IISc Bangalore.
You're still working on superconductivity and that to high temperature superconductivity?
I came back to superconductivity again in a big way from 2008. And this is because of my earlier reputation that some of my physics colleagues from JNU, he goaded me into that, Ashok, you have to do this, because I was kind of known that I can make any material. And I am a materials player, however difficult it is. And you won't believe till I said I will do it because I have changed my area to some extent. I'll do it again. If it works first time, I'll continue. And we did measurements in the night. After a long time, till 3 a.m. in the night, I was with my student and with the physics faculty, Dr. Patnaik from JNU. And both of us were looking at the measurements and we got superconductivity. And then
you got superconductivity and it was a different method.
Different material. In 2008, we were into a different kinds of superconductors because there are many kinds of superconductors. And this area in India nobody was working at that time. And
see, one of the problems of superconductivity has been that it has not been achieved at very high temperatures. When we are talking about high temperature superconductivity, it's below 0 degrees centigrade. That is the area we are talking about. So even those temperatures which you call as a scientist high temperatures are very, very low. Now, no electrical engineer ever took iron as a very serious conductor. Now, superconductivity has shifted to iron suddenly. How did that happen? And why did that happen?
Yeah, see, this is what is the mysteries of nature. You never know where this phenomena is lurking. And I believe, one day you will get somewhere room temperature or close to room temperature superconductivity. Today we have got up till 185 K. So iron-based materials, let me put it like that,
Right.
it's not iron,
Yeah.
were never considered to be having the kind of qualities a superconductor should have, because
It has very high resistivity as compared to copper and other materials.
True, and it also has magnetic property, which normally is against superconductivity.
It is detrimental to any flow of current.
This was the thought, and see, we still do not know. The nature is like that. We don't know. It's science is we are like touching an elephant from different angles. So now superconductivity is like that, where magnetism and superconductivity can coexist. There are lots of cases coming up in the last 5, 7, 10 years. It was also there earlier, but very little was known. Now it is coming in a big way. And that is why these iron-based superconductors from 2008, 2007 onwards have become a rage. And it is going very strong in the world.
And if that happens, we have iron in abundance.
Yes.
On the earth. If that happens, then probably we have solved our energy problem.
Well, I will still hold back, because we have to come close to room temperature to do any of this. At least minus 40 degrees is okay, which we can reach with, say, little bit of well-known chemicals around us. If we come to that range, that is like 250 or 230 Kelvin, then lot of industrialists will be interested. Right now, there are people working. Japan has lots of industries making superconducting coils for submarines and ships and all. They have a huge industry, but they have the engineering and the support to work at low temperatures. So even 150 Kelvin, 130 Kelvin is fine.
It is the low temperature which makes it very, very expensive.
It is making it expensive.
Otherwise, the material is not so expensive.
The material cost is not so expensive as compared to the cost of maintaining a track at low temperature or something like that.
You switched over in between to nanoparticles and nano research. Now, when we talk of nano, then it is 1 upon about 9 zeros.
Yeah.
Right? These are very, very small particles that we are talking about. What is the difference between a bigger particle and a small particle? Why does the characteristics change?
The most important and fundamental change is because you are now in the quantum laws. When you are in nano size, you are going to apply the quantum laws of physics, not the classical laws of physics. This is one thing. Apart from that, there are a lot of other areas where not the quantum laws, but just the size. Like you want to enter into some subcellular organism or in our body. There the size matters, the shape matters. There the quantum law is not operating, but the size in the nano dimension is appropriate to do some intervention. So in biology or in medicine, the use of nanoparticles is due to a different reason.
Which means if we are able to identify, in fact today, specific cells which have shown some erratic behavior, and we can intervene at cell level through nanoparticles and develop probably intervention technology or processes
Therapy.
Therapy
Sure.
At that level. So it is fascinating area as far as health is concerned. But why is such a fixation today with nanoparticles? Why is size and shape important, which is your area of work?
See, it is not only medicine. Let me see that nanoscience, nanotechnology is all pervading. You say health, you say energy sector, solar energy, hydrogen energy, nuclear, any
Clean
technology,
electronics.
electronics, like for example, detergents, we are now making some things which are much better with less amount of detergent. There are techniques. Sensors, one of the most important applications is in sensing. Either it is for defense or it is for biology, for medicine. Say you have somebody is going to have a heart attack. Can doctors prevent by knowing something in the blood that he may get a heart attack, maybe in 2 hours, maybe in 10 hours. So there are many sensors, we call biosensors, which track biomarkers in the blood. Or you can have a sensor, for example, on a tank. So you can find out how the tank is moving, performing. You can see at night. We have IR detectors and all. These are old technology. New technology is using what is called nanophotonics, etc. And even the thing I think you mentioned in the beginning of your interview about vanishing people, that's possible now. It's called metamaterials. You can have...
Vanishing people is possible. I have to take a break. Come back soon. Just keep watching Eureka. Welcome back. Professor Ganguli, we were at the most interesting part of probably our discussion, that maybe it's possible that you can make people invisible through the use of nanotechnology. How will it happen?
Well, it's a subject which is today called metamaterials and also nanophotonics. This is the word. It's a play of how you maneuver the reflected light, because whatever you see has three things: the source of the light, the scattering of light from an object which will fall into your eyes. That's the process of image formation. And of course, there is the brain processing and all that. Now, if I can manipulate how the scattered light is coming back to my eye, I can fool the eye in thinking that what I am seeing is not there but somewhere else. That's the whole game. So,
which is what magicians do.
Yes, and this is a subject which is called cloaking. Cloaking, they're putting a veil on top of an object and the object is invisible. But this cloaking is done by optics. There's a play of light. So they bend the light. Instead of coming straight from the object into your eyes, it will come through some other directions. And you will not see where it is.
If I understand properly, this is the object.
Right.
The light is coming straight here. Right. You bend it, circumvent it, and then it starts moving again.
To your
towards
eyes.
The eyes. And it hits the eyes, so you will not see this object.
Yes.
Because the light has been bent.
Yeah.
But that is still fantasy.
Yeah, no, it is happening. It is done. This whole subject is there today, which scientists are doing. You can do a PhD on metamaterials and nanophotonics. Even in India, you can work in these areas. In a movie, it was shown, a Harry Potter movie.
Yes.
You can see the head, but not the body.
Yeah, but there are many tricks.
Yes.
That is not nanotechnology. You can use a large number of tricks to vanish by use of camera. But if you have such material developed which can bend the light, then it will be a very different world that we will be living.
This is also a world of what is called negative refractive index. The material should have a negative refractive index. And these kind of materials are now known, fabricated, which are called metamaterials.
There are also claims that you can have clothes which can clean themselves up.
Yes.
By use of nanotechnology.
Sure.
How strong these claims are scientifically?
Oh, it's very much there. Even in India today, you can buy a shirt which is made...
Which is self-cleaning?
Yes. It was developed by DRDO, one lab in Hyderabad with IIT Delhi, textile department, and is being sold by a company in Bangalore, which has this nano finish on its textile. So these are called nanotextiles.
What else will be of interest to the general public?
General public, actually nanomaterials, first things came for general public. It came in luxury goods, sporting goods, and cosmetics. These are the areas which first got nanomaterials. For example, nano titanium dioxide is used in sunscreen. In all L'Oreal products which are sunscreen based, they have nano titanium dioxide. It's a huge market.
So you think the way we look at the industry and production today would completely change in another 20, 30 years?
It has changed dramatically in most part of the developed world. And big change is going on now in India and China. And it is going to peak in another 2-3 years. We are already reaching a peak. In the Western world, it's already come. There are many, many products, including catheters, this, that, where nano finishes are there, medical products, drug delivery
How
system.
far behind is India?
Well, in this subject particularly, India can do very well. If it chooses, it targets. Every industry, India cannot compete. But there are certain niche areas where India can do very well.
For example?
For example, in fine nanoparticles in chemicals, like nano finishes, like in textiles or in paints, surfaces, like surfaces which are, say, hospital beds, hospital walls, door handles, all can have antimicrobial coatings so that there is no microbes, fungus. Then you can have tremendous pharmaceuticals. India can do wonders in that. Drug delivery systems, etc. So these will be water purification.
Are we spending sufficient money on science as a nation and the area of nanotechnology? Will we be able to compete generally in science and specifically in your area with the world, with the money, the kind of expenditure we have committed as a nation?
I think for a big country like India, the amount of money to science is not sufficient. It should grow at least, even considering we are not that rich a nation, we should have at least 4 times the contribution to science. Currently,
which means 2% of the GDP.
At least around 2% of the GDP we should be contributing.
At the moment, we are spending about 0.5, 0.6%
of the GDP. Yes.
The GDP.
And a lot of it goes to 2 specific areas, that is space and defense. So if you want to complete the whole thing, so we have to enhance the quantum.
Can we progress? Some people will argue that let others do basic and fundamental research. We will buy this research and develop the product. Can we do this kind of development with the country?
This model does not work because you see, Japan did that. It was doing technology. And then they lost the plot to United States, was always number 1. Then they invested in R&D in a big way. And then Japan is now a major scientific power, not only technological power, scientific power. Same thing Korea did. Now,
same model, yes.
Taiwan is nowhere. You see, Taiwan has huge manufacturing processes, but scientific base is much poorer. And so it will never be close to Germany or
Korea
United
is
States.
spending about 6% of their GDP on scientific.
Korea, yes.
And
Korea
industrial,
is doing very big. And especially nanotechnology, Korea and Israel, being small countries, huge developments in Korea and Israel.
We are also far behind China. So do you think that a poor country like India can invest more in brain power rather than money directly to going to science and technology? Some people do argue that.
More in like HR, you see, education.
HR, picking up the best of the brains who can probably substitute for the money.
But you will have to give them infrastructure so there the money is required. You will hire the best brains, but you need to provide them environment where they can work on their creative ideas. So you will have to establish, state-of-art institutes and also the best brain. Both combination is required.
And a number of institutes spread all over the country so that the best brain can be attracted to these institutes. If I say that nanotechnology is an area which cuts across various disciplines and has demolished the walls between straight-jacketed disciplines within science, because science expresses itself through disciplines, what kind of manpower would be required for nanoscience?
See, that is very important, and I'm very worried because our undergraduate teaching, which will funnel, you have to get people at a higher level through colleges and all that. Our undergraduate teaching has gone down dramatically. This is a reason of concern, and I speak on this on every forum, that what 30, 35 years back, the kind of undergraduate teaching we were getting, especially laboratory training, that is going down, barring few universities, maybe top 15 universities of India and the IITs and ISS, which is a small number for a 1.25 number.
Yes.
Very small.
India is not one country in that sense, it's many countries
So
put together.
That has to be strengthened a lot in colleges, good teachers, good laboratory training, so that they are prepared to take up the advanced technology.
So what is your message finally to the younger generation that you are talking about?
Well, my first message is always do what your heart tells you. Don't study science if you don't enjoy science. The second message is always enjoy. Each day you must enjoy. Every day is a good day. Start in the morning, have good friends. You should play. I played cricket, football, everything till my college days. Even in IIT, I used to play with students. And, you must have a good, happy family. At the end of the day, if your father is unhappy, you are going out, and your wife is unhappy, you can't do great science. So have a happy family, do what you like best, and you will grow great.
Do what you like best and put in your best. Have a happy family, and that's this story of the success. May I, on your behalf, promise our viewers that you will be happy to answer questions if they have any?
Sure.
If you have any questions, do write to us. Our email address is eurekarstv@gmail.com. We'll be back next week with another fascinating scientist. Till then, goodbye. Thank you very much for giving us so much of time.
Pleasure.